The Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momoh, has said on Wednesday that President Bola Tinubu's footprints in the Niger Delta region will discourage youths from joining any national protests in the area. Now, the minister also said that there is nobody in the country, including the president, who would say that protesting is a sin. But the consequences of the action may not be good for economic development. Now, speaking to State House correspondents on the planned national protests over hunger and bad governance, Momoh actually said that the intervention of President Tinubu in the provision of infrastructure has been unprecedented. And according to him, we are very lucky to have the person of President Ahmed Tinubu, who is deeply committed towards the overall development of the country, irrespective of the area. Now, he also mentioned that, in his words, and I quote, "We know that a number of projects are going on in this country, projects that were never attempted by previous administrations, despite the fact that there is lean resources in government now. I'm surprised, and I wonder if you see what is going on in this administration." He went on to say that what we have observed is that it appears the majority of Nigerians, and particularly the youth, are not very much conversant with a number of programs put in place to alleviate the suffering of the youth in this very country. Please listen from this part. And to start from my end in the Niger Delta region, I think the president has done a lot for us, which I don't think any person who is from the Niger Delta area will deem it necessary to come out and say he's protesting against bad governance. The number of projects that have been executed in the South-South region, and particularly the Niger Delta region, within this 1 year, cannot be compared with what has been or what has happened previously in the last 4 years. For instance, recently, you watched us on the screen, commissioning projects in the Niger Delta area. He said there are quite a number of welfare programs that have gone on here, and they are still going on in the region, and that the ministry has also embarked on empowerment and welfare program for the first time in its history. Today, a number of women and youths have benefited reasonably, and today too, Mr. President has also graciously approved the release of funds to address the flooded areas in the Niger Delta. I talked about palliatives for the people of the Niger Delta and some other things that he mentioned. And he said, in his words, I'd like you to pick that part where he said, nobody from the Niger Delta would say that the government has not done enough for the Niger Delta and would want to come out to even protest against bad governance. Ambassador Eki.
Well, our revered leader, Mr. Momoh, is speaking as someone whose government program has affected positively. So if he's speaking in that light, I think he's not very wrong. But me, that government project have not affected very positively, I don't think I will agree with him. So if you tell me that government have done quite a number of programs to alleviate the hunger, the hardship in the land, which one have I gotten? That I will sit down here and agree with Mr. Momoh that His Excellency has done so much for the Niger Delta people. So I've never benefited anyone.
But that's just you amongst many.
No. If I say I have not benefited, am I not an indigene of Niger Delta?
No, you just talked about the governor's statement about residents.
No, that's
and if you don't get the memo, it doesn't mean
that's why I agree. I respect the opinion of the governor. He is not. If it's Mr. President that is speaking, he's not my governor. He's not my president. So what Mr. Momoh have said is his opinion. But I did not give him my right to speak for me. But for my governor, I gave him my right because I voted for him. So I'm only trying to say that when he talks about the things that Mr. President have done for Niger Delta people, I will not sit down here and say he has not done well. Yes, to the best of my knowledge, Mr. President loves the people of Niger Delta.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I can say that for free.
Okay.
And I can say that, for instance, when it was time for the Senate President election, there were people who never wanted somebody from the South-South to become the Senate President. But Mr. President supported His Excellency Godswill Akpabio to emerge as the Senate President. So there are quite a lot of things he has actually done that shows that he loves the South people. For instance, the NDDC board was having crisis before he came on board. He came, inaugurated the board, and we are aware that the East-West Road too was intervened by the NDDC. Now, on the issue of programs and whatever, well, there are programs, but my only worriedness most of the time, the people that government intentionally takes care of are the ex-agitators. They are my brothers, they are my friends. But very many of them are the people who get contracts from the NDDC. Most of them are the ones that get the patronage from government programs. So it means that if I have not carried AK-47 before, if I don't have AK-47, I don't have the rights to benefit from government. So when they are talking about programs and whatever, I told you the last time that the only time government will give you attention is if they are aware you have 10 AK-47. But if they are aware you have double PhD, nobody gives you attention.
But you know that is not entirely true.
No. You that's what you feel. But I'm telling you from what I know. So those who are very civil, government don't give them attention. And it's very, very inimical to the peace and the progress of this country. So I would like to say Mr. Momoh is speaking from his own opinion. I will not say that Mr. President do not love the people of Niger Delta. I will not say that he has not released good things for the Niger Delta. But it's not trickling down.
To what? To who?
To the ordinary Niger Delta person. When benefits are given from the federal government to state government and to whosoever that it falls in his or her hands, they politicize it. They partisan the formula of a distribution. For instance, if you are not loyal to the governor on some certain palliative that are given, you will not be given to. So most of these things that government shares, if you watch well, is given to loyalists. And I wonder if the governor or the president or whosoever is a president of a political party or a governor of a political party.
When you talk about most of the things that comes from the federal government not trickling down, and if you're not a loyalist to the government, to governor of the day and all of that, do you have any particular projects that you're making reference to?
You see, I have areas I can specify.
Please
these are the roots and the way political things are distributed.
So that we can understand better, so that we don't talk out of.
For instance, if the governor is doing palliative empowerment right now, if you are not a known governor's supporter, you can't be part of it.
Have there been a situation like that?
The governor has done well.
Then we saw that some local governments did not receive.
Like for instance, no. We are not, when we talk about...
Okay, some people did not receive.
And when we talk about, what I'm trying to emphasize is, if governor wants to do empowerment, the list of those who will be beneficiary must come from his allies in that particular local government. So if you are not a close ally to the governor, you won't partake.
These are very strong.
So no, it's a non-fact.
That's why I'm asking you to put the facts on the table.
That's why I'm putting it on the table.
But you haven't mentioned any particular one.
It's a general.
That's the thing with us. We like to generalize. We like to just assume. Until there are facts on the table, it's seen as an assumption.
You see, I get where you are going, but understand me. My presentation is not to indict our governor.
So you're not talking about a particular administration now?
I'm speaking as a general.
All right.
It's not the first time it's happening. Right from different administrations, that has been the order of the day. Okay, that political palliative, political empowerment from government are only given to allies of that political leader. And we are saying that it's inimical.
Okay, we'll come back to you with that statement. But let's get Mufasa's thoughts on the story in general, talking about Tinubu's intervention in the Niger Delta region and having that in mind. No Niger Delta youth would want to come out to protest. Mufasa.
You know, they say he who speaks through another speak himself. That is that extent, I want to say that this is coming from the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is equally speaking the thoughts of the President. So I do not think it would be right to say that Momoh is speaking for himself. He's speaking on behalf of the President. So I do not want to even start talking about palliative. That the people of the Niger Delta are getting so much of the intervention of the President, and to that extent they will come out. I think that is a complete fallacy. And it's something that was, you know, it was something that was arrived hastily, you know, just to mesmerize the people and also, you know, to massage the ego of his principal. The Niger Delta people are actually passing through a lot. You made mention of the East-West Road and how NDDC has intervened. I don't know, there's no intervention. You can't travel from Port Harcourt to Benin. You spend almost the whole day for a journey that shouldn't be up to 2 hours, 30 minutes. Where is the intervention?
Recently, we were told that work has begun.
I'm telling you for free. You can just find out for yourself.
This was just days ago. We didn't expect it to be completed.
It is now, it is not something. Now I'm coming. If you have the sole desire and intention to make life easy for the Niger Delta people, that road has been in the worst state of, you know, dilapidation ever since this government came into office. I mean, after the flood, you know the condition of that road. And we saw how the Ministry of Works, under the able leadership of former governor of Ebonyi State, was, you know, sluggishly trying to put the road in shape. And we know the kind of rain that we get in this part of the country. If the rain starts falling, is it now that you want to start doing intervention? There is no sincerity of purpose and intention. But I don't want to go into there. I'm talking about the protest, because that is, you know, that is the emphasis.
They're actually related.
Yes,
now.
That's the emphasis, that the Nigerian people will not come out
to protest.
Let me say this to the minister. Perhaps he can speak for himself and his principal. The people are disenchanted. The people are dissatisfied. The people are frustrated. And they have been complaining all this long. It's not something they started today. Telling us today that this government inherited this and that and all of that. This government took over from a government of its own political party. APC taking over from APC, and you are coming to tell us today that it's because this government took over from an ailing economy that the previous government has failed, whereas this current administration was an integral part. In fact, President Bola Tinubu was not just a member of the ruling party, he was called the leader of the APC. So he understands the workings of government. And I'm sure that was why he decided to say his trade is out on the ring to solve the problem of humanity and the problem of Nigerians. It's a contract. You were voted into office to solve the problem of the people. And you must have a template. What is the template of this administration? Is it palliative? Are we talking about palliative? Will palliative create access roads for the people? Will palliative bring down the current price of petrol that has skyrocketed? Will palliative allow farmers to go back to farm without being attacked, kidnapped and killed by terrorists and bandits? So let us stop this kind of mockery, because for me they are mocking Nigerians by saying that you are giving palliatives, bags of grains and bags of rice that you will consume and it will finish and you go back to the trenches.
So you think distribution of palliative is mocking
Nigerians? It's the height.
But this is a protest. This is hunger.
Nigerians are not protesting to get palliative.
But they are protesting against hunger.
Something led. You don't tackle the symptoms. You tackle the cause of the problem.
But we've been asking for emergency measures.
Nigerians are saying, and they'll be calling on government since the day President Bola Tinubu said subsidy is gone. Nigerians have been calling on the president to do something about our refineries. Everything is tied to petrol in this country. We are talking about people cannot have access to what God has given to us as natural resources. We are talking about providing security, because I know that people will be quick to say, they have governors also have agreed. Governors equally, they have their own share of responsibility, because it's a federation. And the federating unit, they have responsibility. But without security, I'm coming, let me land, please. Without security, without the people having access to petrol and petroleum products, anything you do is just, an effort in futility. And for me, I think it's deliberate, it's intentional on the part of our leaders. That is why this protest is something that is timely, it's something that everybody should encourage, provided it's peaceful and it's not violent.
Before I go on further questions, let me quickly correct something that you said when you were giving your analysis, when you talked about Momoh's statement about this government inheriting a bad economy and all of that. Momoh actually stated that looking at the fact that we don't even have so much resources, the economy doesn't really have so much at this time. Yet this administration within 1 year has done so much. And he even said that it baffles him sometimes when he looks at the projects that are being carried out by this administration. And then he went on to talk about the Niger Delta. He mentioned some of the projects that he feels that the federal government has carried out to benefit the people of the Niger Delta at the moment. And with all of these projects, we don't think anybody from the Niger Delta will want to protest. Now that's a clarification on that statement.
No, but that is what we just addressed. And it's not as if you are correcting the impression. You're just re-echoing. You are re-echoing.
I am not.
You are re-echoing.
Exactly
you are re-echoing what he said. And I have faulted it because if there are projects,
because you made a statement
if there are projects, if there are projects, is a project you can see.
Hold on. I allowed you speak earlier, right? I know what I just corrected. But let's go back to the question I wanted to ask. Concerning the conference that was held a few days ago with Akpabio, right? The Senate President, right here in Port Harcourt, where he was talking about the Niger Delta people and saying that none of the states in the Niger Delta will protest. He said it's going to be a protest-free region. And we could hear the people and the youths in that particular conference hailing him and hailing that particular statement as we saw it, and I saw that video. So him saying that nobody in the Niger Delta will protest, and now we have people on the streets. What do you yesterday I was asking the question, for him to have said this with so much confidence, that nobody in Niger Delta will protest. Now I was wondering, what exactly are the measures that have been put on ground to make sure that nobody in the Niger Delta protests? But let's get your reaction to this.
Well, the truth about most of these things is, why is there need for protests? Nobody is saying that protest is not good at this time. A hungry man is an angry man. There's much hunger in the land. Recently, we heard that the federal government have reduced the price of rice to 40,000, right? But it's on air because I've not seen the rice. So until I see the rice...
It has not been distributed yet completely. That's why I've not seen it yet.
Okay. So I pray the distribution gets to the nearby markets where I can also afford. Now, Nigerians are complaining, including me, that the price of PMS, petrol, is high. I bought recently 900 naira. Can it be reduced to the barest minimum? If the subsidy project is going to cause more hardship on Nigerians, Nigerians are saying, can we go back to subsidy? Because we should not agree on policy that will lead to our untimely deaths before the policy will manifest.
And Nigerians saying, let's go back to subsidy?
Most Nigerians are saying so, that if the policies of government, as promised, is not going to alleviate their poor states at that time when there was subsidy, that we can go back to subsidy and later review it again. Now we are asking that the price of petrol should be reduced to the barest minimum. The price of diesel should be reduced. We are asking that security in Nigeria should be improved. The rate of insecurity is high. Just a few days ago, a prominent figure in Delta State was kidnapped inside the capital city. So insecurity is growing every day. We are also saying that the cost of livelihood is so high.
Ambassador, are you saying there's a need for the protest?
There is a need. Nobody has said there's no need for the protest. So anybody that is telling you there's no need for the protest, if I don't have food in my house, and then the Senate President converges some youths and some stakeholders, the federal government converts some youths in a program, and possibly they were given a take-home money, maybe 100, 200, or 1 million as the case. Why would they go and protest
again? So let it be known that Ambassador is in support of this protest. Even
not
Ambassador, you just said there's
when the kind of protest I'm talking about, it's not the kind of protest that the governors have said, our president have pleaded for now that there should be no protest. The kind of protest I'm talking about is the kind of protest that we can write. We can gather, we can converge in a place and express our anger.
That's what the people are about to do, converge in a place.
If any protest that will be peaceful, that will not lead to the loss and properties of the common man. If they tell me today that the protest that will take place, there will be no violence, and sincerely yours, no security threat on this, I will be among those who will go out to protest. But why me? Why me? I can't be part of any protest now again, because my governor have already said on our behalf that there should be no protest.
All right, thank you very much, Ambassador. Now, the Senate President has said that 50,000 naira will be given to the Niger Delta youths, 10,000 Niger Delta youths monthly, so we should not protest. I would like to get your thoughts on that statement.
Well, for me, that's insulting to the Niger Delta people. Like I've said before, I think it's ridiculous for the Senate President to come out and ridicule the people of Niger Delta. We are not saying that you should start sharing 50,000 naira. And besides, I don't know the modalities that is used to identify who to get and
people who attended the program now.
Let us not.
I don't think 10,000 people attended that program.
Even if it's 20,000, we know how they come about gathering. Those are not the genuine Nigerians who are demanding for a better Nigeria, for each and every one of us, for our children, for posterity, are the ones who will be on the streets today, not the ones who will sit in a hall to be addressed by the same people that have told us that if we like, let us go and die, that they'll get a new jet for the president. By the same people who will tell Nigerians that they will be in their houses watching TV and enjoying themselves, who wants to go and protest. These are not the kind of leadership that Nigerians envisaged. Nigeria belongs to all of us. That you have the opportunity to be Senate President today doesn't mean that you are more Nigerian than the Nigerian on the street that is suffering. There's a reason why you are there. And if you are failing in that responsibility, it is the responsibility and duty of the people to call you to order and caution you. It is not a master-slave relationship. And that is what they've reduced Nigerians to. So if you want to give people 50,000 naira, he can go and share that 50,000 naira to his followers and supporters. Because 50,000 naira today, going by the economic reality, going by the inflation that we have, 50,000 naira today cannot get you a decent pot of soup. I will continue to say this, that unless our leaders do the right, they know what to do, because they travel to Europe and America and they see how people lead their people. But they decided to come to Nigeria and give us what they like. And the people are saying that enough is enough. Enough of palliative kind of. We didn't elect you into government to give us palliative. We elect you into government to give us quality leadership that will translate into infrastructure, that will translate into providing essential services, that will translate into Nigerians having free access to the natural resources God has given to us, which is petroleum products. And what this government, I think, is intentional, because the moment they fix our refineries, everything will start working in order. In petroleum, of course, you understand what petrochemical is. And there's a value chain. When you are refining petrol, is a large value chain, that a lot of products can be gotten from it that you can even export to boost your economy. But what they are doing is deliberate, is intentional to impoverish Nigerians, so that when they throw 4 cups of rice at you, you'll be clapping and applauding them that they've given you palliative. That is not what we want. So Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, should, as a matter of urgency, start to recalibrate his strategies and start to understand that democracy is about the people. And if you don't take the people first, when you push them to the wall, they will bounce back with a double effort. And that is the effect of what you are seeing today on the street.
Ambassador Igeli wants to come in.
Well,
I'll give you 1 minute.
Yes, I just want to first of all also commend the Senate President for even having the heart of sharing 50,000 naira, because the times are hard. And I believe that if other senators and National Assembly members also borrow leave, and all others who are enjoying from the commonwealth of Nigerians, I think the suffering will reduce. But in any way, it does not negate the core responsibilities of government. I just think that should be on immediate relief to assist. But on the programs and the project of government delivering democratic dividends of the people, I think that's the area where Nigerians are saying we can no longer endure, because it's so hard on us. So I like to commend him for at least. If
you think the 50,000 naira is needed at this time by the Niger Delta?
Because if he does not even give it out, nobody will beat him. So for him to even have that magnanimity to say, let me give 50,000, I want to say thank you. But also try and see that the needful, what Nigerians are clamoring for, should be addressed.
Is that enough to stop the youth from going to the streets?
You see, my governor made a statement that Rivers citizens, because some people's civil society stakeholders converge in government house for a meeting, a town hall meeting.
Back to
Akpabio made that statement, the Senate President, during a meeting with youths, right, in Port Harcourt here. So that youth that gathered in that hall represented the entire youth of Niger Delta in their understanding. The people that gathered in government house represented the entire Rivers citizen. So their statement was made to the people in that hall.
Okay, not to
And it is assumed that it represents the interests of all the Niger Delta youth, all the citizens of Rivers State.
Is the 50,000 naira enough to stop the people from going to the streets, the Niger Delta people? But from what happened that day, people have interpreted it to be that he doesn't want the Niger Delta youth to protest, so he's saying take 50,000 naira monthly and don't protest.
Those who attended that meeting and you collected the 50,000 naira.
He has not.
No, let me say.
Not started.
And you agreed with the Senate President that give us this 50,000 naira, we will not protest. If you still go and protest, it's immoral. So, Mr. President, the Senate President was talking to those youths assumptuously.
He was talking to the Niger Delta youths. I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying now.
What you're trying to bring out of this now.
The statement, was I in that meeting? Am I not a Niger Delta youth?
Okay, is the 50,000? Okay, you're a Niger Delta youth, right? You just
said
that. Okay.
I'm a leader.
Now let me ask you the question directly.
Yes.
Is the 10,000 youths will be given 50,000 naira monthly? He did not say only the youths in that hall will be given 50,000 naira. As a Niger Delta youth that you have said you are, well, is 50,000 naira supposed to be enough for you not to go to the street if you were one of the people who wanted to go out to protest?
If I was in that meeting and I agreed with him, and I equally...
Ambassador, you are not in that meeting.
No. That's what I'm saying.
You are not in the meeting.
Yes, hence I'm not in that meeting.
Yes.
I cannot subscribe to what I was not part of. And like my brother will say, that the 50,000 naira is not what Nigerians and Nigerian people are agitating for. But I commended him because the gesture of even saying 10,000 youth, right? 50,000 naira monthly is a good one.
Okay.
And if others, emulate from what he has done, but that statement does not represent the entire youth of Niger Delta, because we are more than 5 million. So I'm always saying that if they complement it, he said every month, right? If others who are occupying political position equally lend 50,000, it will increase. So at a month, most people will be going home with 500,000. And the economic hardship will reduce. So I would like to say that let them emulate the Senate president.
So we should not ask for infrastructure anymore. Let us ask for money to be distributed to us.
No. What the Senate president have tried to do is to intervene in the current economic hardship. And
stop the people from protesting.
If what we are saying, it can stop if other politicians also add their own. If every month we are having 500,000, at least we can provide
okay, so if we have that, Mufasa, if we have that, is it going to stop us from going to the streets?
There's nothing to emulate about that. For me, such gesture is clueless, it's unreasonable, and it's unsustainable. We are not saying that you should start giving people 10,000 naira. Yeah, I mean, 50,000 naira for 10,000 people. The money in itself is not even coming from his pocket. That money should be invested into our moribund industries. That money should be invested into ventures that will get a lot of people off the streets. When you give a man, if you give a man 50,000 naira this month, when the man is not doing anything, what value would that bring to society? And we are still driving on our bad roads. We are still buying petrol at the rate of 900 naira, 950.
Right.
There is no sense in such move. What we want from our leaders is for them to go back and study their campaign manifesto. What all the things they said there, if they do all of those things, people won't come out and start to agitate.
Thank you so
This is just a quick fix measures, and it will not stand the test of time. Godswill Akpabio should stop insulting the Niger Delta, but for me that is an insult, and he should stop it.
All right, thank you so much, Mufasa. Thank you, Ambassador.